In the United Kingdom, there is no specific law that specifically permits or prohibits photography and video recording in public places. However, there are several legal principles and laws that can apply to photography and video recording in certain circumstances. The right to freedom of expression, as protected by the Human Rights Act 1998, is often interpreted to include the right to take photographs and videos in public. This means that individuals have the right to take photographs and videos in public spaces as long as they are not breaking any other laws. This is a fundamental human right protected under Article 10 of the European Convention on Human Rights, which states that everyone has the right to freedom of expression. This right shall include freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impart information and ideas without interference by public authority and regardless of frontiers. Additionally, the common law principle of freedom to take photographs has been established in case law. This principle recognizes that taking photographs and videos in public is generally considered to be a legitimate and lawful activity. The courts have ruled that taking photographs in public does not constitute an offense, as long as the photography does not cause harassment or distress to individuals and does not contravene other laws. However, it is important to be aware that there may be other laws that apply in specific circumstances. For example, the UK has laws related to privacy and data protection that can apply to photography. The Data Protection Act 2018 and the General Data Protection Regulation applies to any personal data collected and processed, which includes photographs. This means that if you are photographing individuals and intend to use the images for any purpose, you must obtain their consent. It is also important to note that when it comes to the use of photographs and videos, the law makes a distinction between personal use and commercial use. Personal use is considered to be taking photographs for one's own personal enjoyment or for showing to friends and family, whereas commercial use refers to using photographs for any kind of financial gain, such as selling images or using them in an advertisement or promotional material. Furthermore, there are laws related to national security and public order that can apply to photography in certain locations. It is illegal to photograph or film in certain specific locations, such as inside courtrooms or on military bases. This is because the government has determined that the potential security risks outweigh the right to freedom of expression. These laws are designed to safeguard the public and protect sensitive information and locations from being compromised. Additionally, it is also important to be aware of any signs or notices that prohibit photography in a specific location. Private property owners have the right to prohibit photography on their property and can ask anyone to stop taking photographs or videos. In summary, while there is no specific law that permits or prohibits photography and video recording in public places in the UK, the right to freedom of expression and common law principle of freedom to take photographs generally allow it as long as it does not cause harassment or distress to individuals, does not contravene other laws such as privacy and data protection, does not violate any signs or notices that prohibit photography on a specific location or private property, and the images are not used for commercial purposes without consent. It is important to note that laws surrounding photography and video recording in public places are constantly evolving, and it is essential to keep up to date with any new developments and changes. It is always best to stay informed of any changes or updates. It is also important to be aware of the specific laws and regulations that may apply in certain locations. For example, it is important to know that there are different laws and regulations that apply to photography and video recording in public spaces such as parks, museums, and other public facilities, and it is best to check with the specific location to find out what their policies are. In addition, it is also important to be aware of the laws and regulations that apply to drone photography and video recording. The Civil Aviation Authority has specific guidelines and regulations for the use of drones, and it is important to comply with these regulations to avoid any legal issues. In terms of privacy laws, it is important to be aware of the rights of individuals when it comes to photographing or video recording them in public places. While it is generally considered legal to take photographs and videos in public places, it is important to be aware of the rights of individuals and not to invade their privacy. For example, it is not legal to take photographs or videos of individuals in situations where they would have a reasonable expectation of privacy, such as in their own homes or in other private spaces. In conclusion, while there is no specific law that permits or prohibits photography and video recording in public places in the United Kingdom, the right to freedom of expression and common law principle of freedom to take photographs generally allow it as long as it does not cause harassment or distress to individuals, does not contravene other laws such as privacy and data protection, does not violate any signs or notices that prohibit photography on a specific location or private property, and the images are not used for commercial purposes without consent. It is important to stay informed of any changes or updates to laws and regulations, as well as being aware of the specific laws and regulations that may apply in certain locations.